Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for today's upload. Now I usually do not upload on Sundays, even Saturdays, but today is a Sunday and that too an early upload, meaning that I have something important to share with you guys. So let's begin with the transfer list and then we'll get into some more details after we're done with that. So I took a huge loss on Heung-min Son yesterday, sold him at 997. I do know he's currently around 1.02, 1.03. But at some point I was telling myself that if a 91 Son is currently 1 mil, meanwhile 95 KDB, who's also a cam, is at 700k at the moment, 750 at times. So I just didn't want to risk it there. I was very lucky. St. Maximin rebounded at 1.27. The price that I paid for him, I took a tax loss. That's okay as well, even though I do think he may rise, but I'm just not willing to have all my coins stuck like that. Danny DaCosta, 150, is currently 155, but I took the coins there. I still have a few of him, but just that I had too many of him, which I did not want to do. I don't want to put all my eggs into one basket, so I sold a few. Rafa, just a lazy sale there. So I'm gonna show you guys the transfer list is pretty much the same thing as it was, all the same players, a lot of birthdays as well. But here are the informs which I've been telling you guys to buy. I added some more. I've got a ton of Pablo Sarabia at the moment, a ton of him, around like 30 if I'm not mistaken, if not even a bit more. There's another guy here, Cruz, which I think is very, very undervalued, being at 20k. I'm not sure how much he's at the moment, but I was buying him yesterday at 20k. So that's not what we're here for. What I really wanted to speak about is that I've said it multiple times. I'm not a very good player in this game. I'm still learning. I started FIFA around a year ago. This club is established on December 2018, and this is when I started FIFA. Before that, I was not playing FIFA. So I'm not a very good player, but yesterday I played around 15 games of Weekend League. And everyone that I faced was playing with untradeable teams. They were playing with right back Gold Florenzi into a Serie A team. So, and me not being good, I was beating them like very easily. So, in my opinion, thinking about that is that people won't keep using untradeable teams. This week, a lot of people used untradeable teams, and the other half of the people that sold players, they did not even play Weekend League, because this is basically the last Weekend League that we had, which is unrewarding, because you guys know it by now. Playing Weekend League does not reward you. If you are to play 30 games of Weekend League, if you would take that same time of playing 30 games of online draft, you would end up with better packs. So it's not very much rewarding. So I think at this point, now that the rewards will be better with better red player picks, so I am thinking about it that at some point we may see panic buying, and the buyback will be humongous. And that is just now. Before I start this, I just want to let you guys know this is just my opinion. I may not be right on that. I've made multiple calls this year saying that, such stuff is cheap and that thing is too high, but I've been wrong and I've been right. So once again, I'm not telling you guys to buy stuff unless you've got coins that you can afford to lose. And what do I mean by losing is that when you buy a player, say you go on the market at the moment, you have a look at Lacazette. And this is the perfect example in my opinion. Let's say you go on the market now. I just made a mistake. Just a second here. I'm going to correct this price. I'm sorry about that. I just woke up around 30 minutes ago and I wanted to get this video out. So let's say you go on the market, you buy a Lacazette at 710, okay, or 705. Now you have to set yourself a target, and that would be, if I buy him at 705, I want to sell him at 820. And what I'll do is that I'm going to list him at 820. And on the downside, if this card hits 680 or let's say 650, I'm going to take that 55k loss and I'm going to get out of this card. So you need to do that. And this will save you a ton of coins, because if you guys had bought Lacazette at 900 and you had that goal that I would sell my Lacazette if it drops to 850, you would have saved yourself 150 coins, 150,000 coins. And the same thing on the upside, if a card reaches your target, go ahead and sell it. But this is just my thought on it, and I am thinking the buyback will be humongous because once again, we do know the community team of the season is pretty much trash. We've all seen it, and I've done the voting as well. I've done it just for fun because foot was basically boring this weekend with no content. But otherwise, all the players are trash, and people will start buying back their teams to get better rewards for upcoming red player picks that will be from the top leagues. So, in my opinion, looking at the market at the moment, if we have a look at Lacazette, 755, we saw one listed at 705, up to 755, which is 50k from now. There's only 2 pages, and 2 pages, but I can guarantee you that 85 to 90% of foot is not holding this player into their squad. And because the sell off was so huge, which tells me that people that had such players, especially the foot birthdays, into their transfer list, I myself sold a lot. Some people just liquidated everything, every single foot birthday which they had. And this just makes me believe one thing that when the buyback will start, a lot of cards will be bought. A lot of cards will be bought. This is just what I think about it, and I do think this is something which is very, very reasonable to think. Those players will not be replaceable. A Gareth Bale with 4-star, 5-star, there's gonna be a ton of team of the season players that are gonna be, example, 93 rated, but they will have 3-star skill moves or 3-star weak foot. And those cards, in my opinion, 5-star, 5-star on a guy like Douglas Costa, I do not see how that will be replaced unless EA decides to give Team of the Season weak foot and skill moves upgrade. I do not see how those cards will keep losing more value. And the reason why I'm focusing on Foot Birthday is because they are the ones that dropped the most. I do know a few other cards dropped a lot, but I just want to start the buying today. And this is a risk. I may end up losing a ton of coins, just like I may end up making a lot of coins. Now, I was selling De Bruyne, 94. I was selling him for around 700k as recently as this weekend. At the moment, 94 rated De Bruyne is going for 500k. I'm just gonna pick him up, put him in my club, and I'm gonna see what happens and hope for the best. And it may end up being a very, very good trade, just as much as it may end up being a bad trade. Now, I've said it multiple times, De Bruyne is a money maker when it comes to rewards day. It's not like I expect the rewards day to inject a lot of coins into the market because a lot of people will save their packs, but a lot of people are liquid as well. So you cannot underrate the fact that a lot of people are liquid at the moment, and when they will start the buying, it takes one guy to start buying something or a few of them to start buying something for the market to start panic buying. And you guys know when the panic buying happens, it is the perfect time for you guys to get out of cards because those cards will rise and you guys will be able to make some profit. And I started with De Bruyne because that's a player that I usually always buy for my flips. He's made me a lot of coins. Now, if we didn't have Team of the Season, I would certainly buy maybe 5 of each. But at the moment, I do not want to risk a lot. So I'm just going to buy a few, and maybe this will be the way that I'll be able to recover a lot of my losses. I lost around 2 mil just selling the players that I had bought, like Da Costa, whom I sold at 150. I was buying him at 190. So that's a lot of loss right there. And here's a 60k. This is very, very cheap for Doucouré. I'm gonna pick that up and put him once again in my club and hope for the best there. One more thing which I did want to share with you guys in terms of foot birthdays. If we have a look at, for example, Cancelo, 180, I think, must be his price, if I'm not mistaken, or 175. So let's have a look at 180. You guys can see there's not much listings happening at the moment. The listings that are there, they're there in the market. There is no way for them to go without people buying. But in terms of new listings, there's way less than when the panic first started. When the panic first started, you would go on 175, you would find 3, 4, 5 pages with undercuts, just one after the other. But at the moment, you can see the prices are starting to become stable, and there's way more bidding happening on the market. And this is a sense to know that the panic selling is reaching to its end, at least for the short term. I do not see in the short term the panic being higher. And you can see it right there. Here's a panic seller, by the way, at 170. But you can see this guy listed at 174. This guy listed after him at 175. And 175 was the market price. So you can see that they're not panic selling as much as they were. They're less fearful about the market. And this makes me believe that we have a good opportunity to make some coins there. Somebody just outbid me right there. So I do want to buy a few. Now, what I want to concentrate on basically 3 leagues, which in my opinion will be the biggest risers. And those leagues would be Bundesliga. No, I was writing Bundesliga. So Bundesliga, I do want to show you guys whom I'm going to invest on. It's going to be, now, Danny DaCosta. I'm not selling him at 150 and buying him back at 155. So what I'm going to do, this guy right here, Lucas Hernandez, I really, really like this player. Once again, if you have a look at the stats, 5-star skill moves, which is pretty good. Very nice pace, very good dribbling, very good defending, very good physicals. He's French as well, which is always a plus when you buy a player, because the links that he offers is just unmatched. In my opinion, whenever you have a French player, it's always good to link, especially if he's from another league. Now, Bundesliga is one league that I really like, and the reason being is that definitely Lewandowski will get team of the season. A guy like Timo Werner will get a team of the season. This is why I really like this, because I think once again people will be very, very interested to buy those cards, and this may be a good opportunity for me or for us to buy some players from those leagues and trying to make some coins, at least recover the coins that we have lost. This is the only way, by trading, right? So Havertz is currently rising. He was on the market for around 260k. So I'm not sure I want to chase that at 270. But once again, you guys can see right here, the market is not panicking as much as it was. Now players have started to rise gradually. It's not like it's going to go one shot all the way up. But I do think the biggest sell-offs are behind us, at least for the short term. Now, what I'm talking about is the sell-off from here, from now, up to maybe next Friday. The sell-off might begin once again next week, because people are just used to panic selling. But otherwise, it's not like we're going to have huge crashes. That's my opinion on it. So I'm going to put that Havertz in my transfer list. Another league which I do want to concentrate on would be Ligue 1. But once again, Ligue 1 Di Maria has risen so much that I'm not sure I want to go and buy this card once again. It's not like he's expensive. He's very cheap at 668, but I do not want to chase a card. A lot of people bought him at around 600, 620, 630. Now they're all making profits, and at any point, any given time, they may start selling him with profits. So I do not want to get into that. La Liga this year, I do not see all that much the hype there. So the last league which I'll invest on will be obviously the Premier League. Now, the Premier League, I'm looking at the players at the moment. Cancelo has risen a bit. Another player that we may invest on, Lacazette is still good at 700 in my opinion. If you guys are able to get him below 700, that would be really, really nice. But just one player from another league that I'm interested on will be Theo Hernandez. Now, Theo Hernandez is a guy that I think a lot of people like to use in this game, and once again, another major plus there is the fact that he's French as well, and this makes me believe that I may be able to get out of this card within the next few days, because he may rise quite a bit. Having French links, being from Serie A, is once again something good. Now, what you guys want to do here, if you guys are interested to buy those players, the foot birthdays, it's not like I'm telling you it's something guaranteed, but if you guys want to do it, I would go ahead and do it this way. What I'd do is that I'd put 30% of my coins into foot birthday, 25% of my coins and informs, which would be 84 pluses, 20% in high rated players, and that would leave you with 25% of your coins to upgrade your team or to keep trading. And that is something which I would do, but I would start investing only 15 to 20% at the moment. You can see I had around 3.8 mil. I'm still at 2.2. I'm not going to go broke on it, because that would leave you some room to buy some more if they drop lower than that. And not only foot birthdays, if any cards, like yesterday's crash was crazy. I was sleeping at that time, unfortunately. But you guys, if you guys have coins and that sort of stuff happens ever again, you know it's buying time. Trade if you're not scared to lose the coins. And here's a perfect example where I'm gonna show you guys a chart that explains pretty much what happens when you're having fear of trading, and that you trade. You end up always buying, like you can see in the chart right here. You always end up buying at the top and selling at the bottom, and this is something which just happens almost every time. If you guys had 50 cards in your transfer list, have a look at the moment, the prices that you sold and the prices they are today, and you will end up figuring out that quite a few cards, because you were fearing, you ended up selling all the way to the bottom, and it never dropped below the price that you sold. And this happened not with every card, with quite a few cards. This is why if you trade with coins that you can afford losing, you're gonna have less fear. I do understand that you will always have that fear if you're trading with coins that you cannot afford to lose. So if you can only afford to lose 100k, then trade with that 100k and keep the other coins liquid for yourself. And if you guys appreciated the content, please do give it a thumbs up. This is how you support the channel. Recently, I've been getting a lot of support, which I really, really appreciate, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.